Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Yagradadishu tatta sarvasu avastasvapi vyavrittasvanuvartamanam ahamiti antaspurantam sada swatmanam prakatikaroti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. In and through the stages of waking, dream and deep sleep, and while I was a baby, youngster, teenager, young man, middle-aged man and old man, in and through all this, something shines as I am. And to that Lord who points out this through his chill mudra, I bow down.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We should all bow down to the self, remembering the self, and bow down this chatter mind, the ego mind, to the pure awareness. We can give ourselves an eternal mind holiday by embracing the silence. The more you go deep within, the silence gets deeper and deeper. The unending joy gets more and more, and the bliss becomes infinite. When you look inward, there is peace and silence. But when you dive deep within and keep going deeper and deeper, you get more jewels, more peace. It looks absurd to say more peace or more joy, but it is. It's exactly like if you are at ocean surface, just below the surface. You can still hear the noises of people and things happening on the surface. But if you go deeper and deeper, peace becomes more deep. And the mind chatter completely goes away. So, even for a realized person, a person who knows, who has no doubts that he is pure awareness, he is not the more divine complex, and there is nothing except pure awareness, God. Rest everything is a phenomena, changing. Even that person loves to and always is attentive to pure awareness and gets deeper and deeper. And you can't go deeper with too much of external activity, too much of action. We all had inherent desires. Some are fulfilled, some are unfulfilled. And then we try to find our own self. And when you find yourself, you abide in self. Some of the unfulfilled desires might fructify now due to the power of self. Some come in form of siddhis, come in form of your inherent past desires. Could be wealth, could be fame, whatever it would be. They also fructify. But who needs anything? Nothing doesn't need anything. And in this nothingness, there is nothing except bliss, except peace, joy, and love for that ultimate truth we call God. Devotion to that God in any form or no form. And the same God in everything around us. So an unconditional love arises for all the beings. So your sadhana, your journey doesn't end just knowing your true self. This is the start of unending joy. You sit in silence, you sit in solitude, and you get deeper and deeper. You don't want to miss a chance. If somehow the plans of the family's entertainment program or a work related thing drops, you have chance to go more deeper. Don't waste this moment. Sit in solitude and get dissolved in your own bliss. No moment to be wasted. There is so much love for this self Because what this self gives, nothing else in this world can give you. Whatever we desire from the things around us, or what we have been desiring in the past, you get all of that through your own self, but exponentially and unending. Once you know this truth, who is interested in things around us? The bliss within, it's addictive. And if you have a bhav, if you loved any type of form of God, that can also manifest in front of you or manifest in your own form. But those experiences could be transient, but the bliss is permanent, eternal. You have found the key for eternal happiness. And this key is to put all your attention, all your efforts, all your energy on pure self, the God principle in us, the principle which never dies, never changes, never goes anywhere. Our body is not eternal. Gross body lives for not more than 100 years usually, while the subtle body lives longer. But it's also part of matter, and there is an end to it. It is subtle, but it's matter. But our self, God principle, it is not matter, and so it never changes. Once we found this jewel, you're not interested in the packaging around it, mind stuff, intellect stuff, body stuff. And the most important thing to know is that whatever is the packaging of this jewel, it doesn't matter. You might be having so many passions, desires. The body is impure, the mind is corrupt. If you have intense longing to know this jewel, you will find it, even if it is in mud. So, whether you are rich, poor, literate, illiterate, atheist, religious, sage, householder, doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Packaging is useless. Even if you're not good in language, it doesn't matter. If you have not read any books, it doesn't matter. External appearances doesn't matter. Only thing matters is your love for the self, love for the truth. Only desire left, an intense desire, intense longing. And this longing, this desire will also go away when you come close to this self-effulgent self, self-supporting self, self without attributes. And we call it self, it is our own self. We are that. And we are always that. The fake identity, which we call ego, is really fake. There are not two people residing in this body, ego and self. When we pay attention to the mind and its activities, it gives rise to the entity called ego. And when we pay attention to the pure awareness, the ego dissolves. And remember, it's not that both can exist. If you still want to act like a smart person, doing all the tricks of the trade of this external world, and then want to jump on to the pure self, it's not possible. It's not bi-directional. And it's not shifting from one to other. In the ego mind, you can have glimpses of this awareness, realization of the self. But abidance of the self, Atmanishtha, can only happen when we are in egoless state, when the ego has completely dissolved, when we are nothing. So start from where we have to end. Remember, we are nothing. We have no rights. And when we are nothing, we have no body, no intellect, no mind. And we don't own anything of the external world if we are nothing. So we have no attraction and no aversion to anything around us. We are in our purest form, purer than what we started with. We have gone back to the source, not just before this birth, before any birth. When we came to this birth, we came into this gross body, but we came with old impressions, vasanas, and a subtle mind and a causal body. But this time, in this body, we are ready to drop all the bodies, gross, subtle, and causal, completely detaching from all the bodies and staying as nothingness, staying as emptiness, staying as awareness. This emptiness, this awareness is our true self, is us. This is called as going back to the source. This is the ultimate source. Practice to stay in this nothingness, and you will realize that you are complete in nothingness. No action is required to complete it. And good thing is you don't have to do anything. To receive this grace of this purity, have no other interest than knowing yourself. Love this self. Abide in this self. By just paying attention, and not reacting from the ego mode. Don't go back to the old habits of likes and dislikes, being judgmental, being critical. Accept things as they come and have no expectations. Doing so, you will be out of the grip of mind. And when you sit in attention to know the awareness, there will be no disturbance from the mind. And you can dive deep in your own silence. Be always inquisitive to know this silence within. And try to tap into this silence whenever you remember it. And find periods in the day when you can sit with this silence, not doing anything. Doesn't matter whether it's a minute or an hour. Get acquainted with this silence. And if you slip back into the mind, restless mind, remind yourself about the silence and leave mind wherever it is. Immediately leave it, even when it is having an emotional baggage. Just leave it. Nothingness should not have any baggage. When the mind brings a story of this body-mind complex, reject it outwardly, immediately. Nothingness has no story. Nothingness is untainted, never ever involved. So this body-mind complex might have done a petty crime, but pure awareness was just aware, a witness, but was never involved. So no guilt. Guilt only comes to the ego, to the doer. And that's why there is so much of importance of doership. You read any scripture, listen to any sage. If your doership doesn't go, whatever work you do is a bondage. You stay in the mind game. Whatever you are doing for your family, at workplace, in society, don't think you are doing. You are nothing. You are no body. Only body can do things. So this body in which you are living is doing something. You just watch. Don't take credit. And while doing things, things can go wrong or might not satisfy your employer or your family or your colleagues. Just say sorry to them. But no sorry within. You are just watching. You are that blissful awareness. Don't tell them, look, it is the body which is doing, not me. Don't get into these arguments. But remember within all the time that the body is doing mind is thinking, intellect is planning, but there is no ego, but there is no doership. If you can get rid of this doership, this ego, you are all the time free. The only word you have to remember is sorry. It is a very good English word, best English word I've ever heard. Whatever happens, you just say sorry and you're out of the game. No need to tell that you are pure awareness, but always stay as pure awareness. No doership. So good happens, that is what it was destined. Bad happens, that was destined. Let the body mind do its work honestly, but no doership. No credit and no discredit. So your account balance will be zero. No karmas coming to you. Because karmas were coming to that doership, personal identity, ego, who had lot of plans, was trying to be happy, had a story in this body-mind complex. Awareness has no story. Or if you ask me, awareness has billions of stories from time immemorial. All these images, past, present, and future, are the waves on the surface of this deep ocean called awareness. We all are that awareness. External forms, mind, intellect, action is all waves. They come and they dissolve. If you make a big graph on this time scale of this world, which is billions of years, and this big ocean of awareness is there, just see how small, not even the small dot, is the wave of the body mind complex you are carrying. But we are so proud of it. Proud of our achievements, and also guilty of the things which have gone wrong. Always remember it was predestined for this body to go like this. Stay as a non-doer. Watch with keen interest your body. I'm not saying ignore it, but just watch the drama unfolding. Always stay as pure awareness. I'm using the word pure just to let you know nothing else is there. Don't take your mind with it, it will be impure, or your intellect, or your memories. Awareness is only awareness. From now onwards, staying as pure awareness, you can't create new plans and agendas, missions. You can play in dynamic consciousness, but internally you should always be 100% convinced that you are not acting as awareness. Raise your level to awareness. This is self inquiry, this is contemplation. And whatever the external world is talking to you, no one is talking to pure awareness. Everyone is talking to this body mind complex. They will knock on your door, but don't answer like ego. You can still play the role, but don't answer like ego. Because they all are part of your dream, and everyone thinks you are still in dream. As a matter of fact, they think it's real. Don't slip back. And so is the importance of solitude and dispassion. Solitude, paying attention to awareness, and contemplating on this will make you solid, and so you can support yourself and you can abide in self even when you go out and meet other images with big egos. Then you will not slip back. As there is power of satsang freeing you from the body-mind complex, there is also power of maya, illusion, in form of everything happening around us. That out of these two powers, which one will win depends on our own interest. Satsang gives you that power. You are always awareness. always. You're discovering now, but it was always the same case. From eternal, you can't call it time, you're beyond time. Awareness has nothing to do with time. Anything in the domain of time has to finish. Everything in the domain of time has a start and end. You have no start and end. You were always there. You were there even before creation of this whole universe. And you will be there even after dissolution of this universe. And so the body stays, the mind stays, intellect stays or goes away, or this whole world goes away or stays. It will make no difference in what you are. And so you become fearless once you know it. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can insult you. And nothing can make you happy. You are always in bliss. You are pure awareness, untainted. In this role playing, the body is playing the role. You have never, ever involved yourself in this game. The one in you who thinks he's involved in the game is fake. The doer is fake. There is no doer. This body is a puppet in the hands of the Almighty God, doing its role, good or bad, depends on its desires from the past. Trust me, this life is so beautiful if you are not the doer. All the time there is peace and silence. And with the grace of this silence, this peace, solitude keeps getting more and more. Circumstances around you changes. You have more time to contemplate. You're drifting away from the world in this blissful self. Peace dawns on you. You become isolated but loving, kind, compassionate, innocent. the body mind starts showing all the characters of this awareness. As the ego dissolves and there is no doer, so many changes happens. But awareness is not doing it. It is the power of awareness which is manifesting in its purity. When this stupid ego has dissolved, which was like a covering around it, covering around this beautiful jewel called awareness, self, God, Brahman, consciousness, all the same. It is not a thing, so it is nothing. It is more empty than emptiness. But still it is the source of everything. It has no pair of opposites. It is always in bliss. Does not know anything about anything else than bliss. The only thing it knows is unconditional love. Even if it wants to hate anything, it can't. All those are domains of your ego. From time immemorial, all the sages, realized souls, even a person who comes to kill them, they forgive those people. It's not that they did it intentionally, it is because they have no choice. It is choiceless awareness. It is impartial. It is not supporting anything, not rejecting anything. It has no attachments, no aversion. It is like sun shining on everything equally. Give away this doership. Give away the pride, fake pride of things. Do the work without a doership. This is the most relaxed state to do any task. And after the task, there will be no strain because there was no doer. Most of the people after work, they want to relax themselves. Then there will be no need to relax yourself. That self is the small self. ego. Because first the ego thinks it has done something, it takes all the bricks and brats at work and then wants to relax, to have a couple of glasses of wine, watching a movie, watching a footy match, or gossiping with friends. It's the same ego. In truth, you have never ever done anything. You have no story, no guilt, no shame, no credit, no discredit, no proud, nothing. Don't take any form. You are formless. And don't worry about the role played by this body mind. It is exactly doing as it's being written in this script. It's playing its role in the best possible form. As a kid, when I used to watch movies, it always used to come to my mind why this role is so bad, why the director didn't create this role a bit better, why he showed this man devil, why he didn't save this lady from this criminal. He is director, he could have changed the story. I always wondered, and then I thought in my mind to change this story that this is just a movie, it has not happened. Every movie is perfect. All the movies going in our own mind, whatever is happening on this world stage is perfect. This is the way it was supposed to be. Because we have been given an ego, an intellect, a mind, we interpret in our own ways. We analyze, we criticize, we show resistance. And the ego has its own rights. Feels an authority in saying things, agrees and disagrees, and we get trapped. Stay as awareness, always in the non-doer mode, non-doership. Love the self within all the time, remembering whatever way you would like to remember. by devotion, by prayer, by songs, whatever. Whatever way appeals to you, but not as a doer. Now, don't get again into the trap that you are a bhakta, you are a devotee, you are a yogi, you are a seeker. If you take any of these roles, you are again in trap. You are nothing. Abide in this pure silence all the time. Let body do things. Stay as a pure witness all the time. Anyway, things don't always happen the way ego wants. Let this ego dissolve in your awareness. Om Shanti.